So I hope y'all Saturday is going way better than mine. It is storming out here like crazy. So let's see. Hey, my podcasters. Good morning, my normies and non-normies. I'm doing this one because I'm doing a Clubhouse room this morning, and I just wanted to do a little chit-chat on parenting and triggers. So I wanted to record the session. I doubt anybody's going to come in because it's kind of early. And my club is still new with Clubhouse, so I don't really do much room, so I really don't get anybody coming in, so I'm most likely to be talking to myself. Alright, so I wanted to open this room about parenting and triggers when it comes to parenting and how do you deal with your triggers. Or for those who may not even know what their triggers look like, how do you cope? That is a big question. Like, for example, on my older past days, like the old me before I became okay with who I am now and accepted me the way that I am. Not the way that I am, and accepted me fully for who I am. The old me wouldn't recognize no triggers. I was just tired. Anything you did was just, I see I'll explode. It was like no in between. There was no building up for me, but there was. I just never really noticed it, but it was there. Everyone has a build-up moment. It's just all about finding that build-up moment. It's all about recognizing when there's something off with yourself. This is something, though, that you have to work on individually. Like, you have to make sure that you have recognized pretty much your condition within you before you can even, recognize your triggers. If you don't have that packed down, then how are you going to know when you're triggered? So you have to make sure that you start paying close attention to yourself. Like, it is imperative that you pay close attention to yourself. Very imperative. Especially if you don't know your triggers and you want to learn your triggers, you have to pay attention to yourself. And if you already know your triggers and you have caught yourself being triggered in the moment, what do you do? You're in the middle of parenting. You're in the middle of disciplining your child for whatever it is that they're doing. So you're reprimanding them, talking to them, however it is that you parent. And you're triggered. What do you do? What do you do? Do you continue to parent? Or do you stop? Do you regroup? What do you do? Because right now you're stuck. Especially it pertains with if your kids have any conditions. Like, if your kid has ADHD, you can't wait too long to parent, because if you do, it's going to go right over their head. They're not going to remember what they got in trouble for, or they're not going to associate it with it. And then it's like you're punishing them just to punish them and not necessarily for the action. Then you have, some of us who have kids that they can wait until your trigger is over, and then you can go back and have that conversation with them or do whatever it is that you need to do. That for me is the most favorable one, and it's the one that I try to do. Like, that's the one that I try my hardest to do. Like, I really try that when I see myself in a trigger and I'm parenting, I try first. Alright, let's go like this. This is difficult because I'm the only one in the room. It'd be easier to have this conversation if I had other people in the room with me. But this is a one-sided conversation, so let's see how we're going to play this out, okay? If I'm in the middle of parenting my child, and and I realize that I am triggered for whatever particular reason it may be, because in my situation, my PTSD gets very bad. Let's not say it gets. My PTSD is very bad. There is not one thing I can pinpoint it to according to the doctor. So it's hard to say what causes me my PTSD. I mean, I know my upbringing has a lot to do with it, and anything that could do with parenting is a trigger. And I have to parent, obviously, because I'm a mom. But when I find that I realize in the moment of parenting, OMG, I'm triggered right now, and I really don't want to be that person or that woman, which is what I call the person that gave birth to me. I don't want to be that woman. I don't want to be what I had when I grew up. I don't want to have to see my children go through the emotions that I went through because of the woman. So I sometimes will start saying in my head, you're safe. It's okay. Just breathe. You're safe. Even if that means I stop talking. Like, I'm not talking to the kids no more. I'm just breathing for a couple of seconds. The kids just stay quiet. They'll stay quiet. They don't say anything in the process. But this has gotten to this point because, again, I learned my triggers. Hey, Shirley, how you doing? The fact that I learned my triggers allows me to not continue to parent while being triggered, which is really, really imperative and really important. If you're triggered and you're parenting at the moment, it is imperative that you stop. And I know sometimes we get caught up in the parenting piece, and it's like, so-and-so did this. I got to make sure, you know what I'm saying, they understood that they can't do this. But how are they going to understand that if you're triggered and your condition is either over-exaggeratedly taking what they did as in a bigger scenario than what it is, or you are coming at them harsher than what you need to, then you can't parent while you're triggered. You can't. How are you going to parent while you're triggered? It's not going to work. You're not going to be able to actually parent. You have to stop, breathe, regroup, recenter yourself, really think about what is the message that you're trying to tell your child, what is the lesson you're trying to teach them, what's the goal, what is the point of this parenting at the moment before you even proceed. Because if all you're going to do is backlash or take out on your child what triggers the reason why you're being triggered, what is the objective? What is the point of parenting at that moment? They're not going to learn anything. You're not getting your message across. Instead, you basically have caused now some harm to your child mentally, emotionally. You have to make sure that when you're parenting, you're not being triggered, or you don't have these triggers around you. And if you catch yourself, like I said, being triggered, you have to try to find a way to regroup. It's okay if you don't parent them at that moment. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, go to your room. I'll talk to you in a minute. I used to always wonder why in the TV shows they would send the kids to the room sometimes as a kid. Because in my household, I never got sent to the room. In my household, at that moment, I was getting my end taxed, okay? I was getting told every name in the book. I was getting told what I wasn't going to be, who I wasn't going to be, where I wasn't going to go, and what I was not going to amount to. And all of those things resonate in me to this day. Any decision I go to make is in the back of my mind. Any move I go to make is in the back of my mind. Because that's the way that I was parented. This is why it's imperative that we know our triggers, we understand our triggers, and honestly, you become one with your triggers to a certain extent, because that's the only way that you're going to understand your body's language when you're becoming triggered. it's important to try to catch some of these triggers. It not only helps you while you're parenting, but it helps you while you're healing. Now that I know I have PTSD, now that I know that my PTSD, can't be pinpointed to just one specific reason to why it gets triggered, and then it triggers everything else, because I do know that it triggers everything else, I attempt to not put myself in as many situations as possible. Like, if I find that a situation can cause me more harm than good, then I will not go into that situation. But that's because I'm a very strong-headed, strong-willed person. Not everyone is that way. That's just me. It doesn't really matter what the situation is. I am very transparent. If I am going to harm myself or open wounds that I do not need to open, I will not place myself in that situation, because I still have to be a mom. And it does not matter who the situation is with. I always make that very clear. Because at the end of the day, I have to go back to my kids. And I have to raise my kids. And I have to be the mom. And if somebody opened that wound, then my kids get the damaged mom that has to try to repair herself while parenting at that moment. And that's not okay. They didn't do anything. That's not cool. That's not acceptable. So we must be mindful while parenting of our triggers. And if we don't know our triggers, we have to work to try to find ways to get our triggers. I honestly just started to pay more attention to myself, honestly speaking. I started to, whenever I would be in a really bad mood or start flipping or yelling at them or screaming, I would stop in my head and really be like, what are you doing? And I would get more frustrated with myself because I was doing it and not realizing it. But the more I started to do that and question, why are you flipping? Why are you spazzing? Why did something so little become so big? The more I started to question myself, the more I started to realize that, hey, legit, I am starting to see a pattern here. Like, I'm starting to notice that during XYZ times, my contact is bugging and is bothering my eye to the fullest. Sorry, I just gotta clean this out real quick and try to put it back in. But that is so much better. Sorry, y'all, but that was just no fun. Like, I guess I put it in backwards, and it was just kept feeling like I had an eyelash in here. I don't know why. Still feel like I got something in here now, but whatever. It's not like it was before. Just my eyes a little bothered from the feeling it had. But I was like, yo, I can't do this while being angry. I'm triggered. How can I parent and not come out so harsh? Why are my kids being so sensitive? Why are they crying if I'm trying to talk to them? Why are they scared if I'm only talking to them? And then I would realize it's not because I'm talking to them, it's because I'm triggered. And they sense that anger, that frustration, everything that comes behind a trigger. And my demeanor, like my voice is not matching it because my body language is screaming triggered. My voice may be calm, but my body language and everything else is screaming I'm triggered. So no matter how much I'm attempting to parent, no matter what I'm attempting to do, because of their autism and their mental health, they're already on their defensive mode. Very defensive. And it becomes very hard to parent, and it just triggers me even more. So I am not being an effective parent. I am actually not teaching my kids a lesson. I am not parenting in any shape, way, or form. I'm actually doing more harm than good if I continue to parent them while I'm triggered. So this is why I wanted to have this room, because again, I was hoping others would have hopped in so we could have had a nice little chit chat and talked about how other people dealt with their triggers while they were parenting and what they do to calm themselves down in the middle of parenting. I mean, again, I've learned that I just stopped talking. I just start talking to myself in my head. You're okay, you're safe. You're okay, you're safe. You're okay, you're safe. You're just parenting your kids. You're just parenting your kids. You're just parenting your kids. You're okay, you're safe. You weren't harmed. You're not triggered. Like, you're good. You're good. I keep affirming it to myself that I'm in a safe space, that I'm okay. I'm just being the parent now. It's my turn to parent now. And then I do come back down. Majority of the times, I'll come back down from whatever it was that was triggered. I'll reevaluate the situation before I even attempt to talk to my kids. Because again, when you're triggered, sometimes you're so sensitive to something that may become a big deal to you. But in reality, when you get a chance to de-escalate and when you're in your safe space, you're looking at everything through safe eyes. You start to see, man, I did kind of take it a little overboard with that one, or I did kind of take it a little bit overboard with this one, or maybe I shouldn't have, got a little loud over here. Maybe I shouldn't have flared so much of my arms over here, or, paced over there, or whatever the case may be. You'll be able to actually see how and why, the triggers, and hopefully this will start helping you to start seeing these triggers before they happen. The game plan is to stop yourself in the process of your triggers while you're parenting, so that you can start realizing the signs, realizing what takes you there, so that you can avoid them. So moving forward, you will catch yourself prior to. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a pro. Yes, I'm going for my certification in dual health and life coaching. I'm doing that so I can become a better person, so I can become a better mom, so that I don't continue to parent with triggers and hopefully parenting my actual self without any triggers involved. I am saying all of this from a parent who has mental health issues, who has to parent 2 children with mental health issues that have autism, and then a regular child. So I'm giving my experience, how I'm learning, how I'm growing, how I'm healing, how I am making it work for me and my family. I'm giving these suggestions, these tips, these ideas out to see who else I can help. And for now, they're coming out completely free, people. Enjoy them while you got them. Okay, because these are things that I can actually be making courses out of, and I can actually be getting coins, and us being homeless at the moment with no income, and that could definitely make my pockets fatter. Okay, because we definitely need those to be fat, and it has to hurry up. Okay, but I'm just saying, these are tips. I'm not a pro. I'm a pro at being a mental health mom. Yes, I'm a pro at that. I have a PhD 100% on it. I can tell you I done graduated, because now I can actually parent and my kids are not broken. They may be sentimental, but I can mend that after we talk it out. But I no longer break my kids. I no longer break them down to parent. I no longer belittle them, make them feel like they're not anything to parent. I no longer do that. My triggers are no longer hold any power over me. They no longer reside so deeply within my conscious that they take over. My triggers are now seen by me. Sometimes I slip. Don't get me wrong. I'm human, like I said. I'm just a regular old time dick in the head, okay? I'm human. So yes, I will slip up sometimes, and bam, I could be in the middle of going in on something, and I could be going in the same tone that I am going in now. I mean, I'm talking now, because ever since I done got sick, the yelling is something that my body does not allow me to do. It won't let me get agitated over a certain point. But I'm going in. Sorry for the background, you guys. The dog is bothering my little one, and she's trying to sleep. and the dog is like, forget you, I want you up. So yeah, but my apologies for the background. I'll be like, you know what I'm saying, okay, this is going to probably have to end because she is not in a good mood now since she got woken up by the dog. Let's ride this out for a second. Okay, but I forgot where I was going with this. My apologies. This just completely went left when, the kiddo got caught with the dog. And I was saying something about triggers. And, don't get me wrong, I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm not perfect. I'm human, I'm a mom like everybody else. Make my mistakes, I make my errors. So sometimes I will get caught within a trigger and I'll still keep trying to parent until I really realize, whoa, I'm trying to yell. That's a woman, I can't yell. So I should already know something wrong. You can't be yelling, that's just not cool. I'm not cool in no shape, way, or form. Look at that, right? Look at that, man. So that'll let me know, hey, you triggered. And I'll start to be like, damn, I'm actually trying to parent while I'm triggered. That's a no-no. I'll stop talking. I'll literally stop talking to the kids. I'll be like, give me a second. I'll talk to myself in my head. I'll regroup myself. I'll try to de-escalate myself. And I'll be honest to myself. Is this going to be good or is this just going to do harm? If it's not going to do good, then you might as well let it go right now and come back to it later. Because we don't want to have to keep repairing any harm. We already have enough harm to repair. My kids have a very extensive story. We have an extensive story. So there's a lot of harm that I have to repair. And I don't want to keep adding on to that harm. This is why it was imperative for me to learn my triggers, to know my triggers, to understand my triggers. And I'm still learning a lot of them because I don't know them. I really don't. I just know that when I feel a certain type of way or my body starts to sweat a little bit, because now that's a warning sign for me, I need to regroup and look at what I'm doing. Something's triggering me. What I'm doing is triggering me, or what's going on is triggering me, and I need to reevaluate it. I start to realize that when I start to get anxious, it's because I'm getting triggered. Now that I know, okay, the anxiety shows up when I'm getting triggered. Okay, cool. I know these two definitely can go together a good amount of the time. So I'm going to pay attention. So if I see that I'm getting anxious, then let me see what's triggering me. What am I doing? Let me stop and reevaluate what I'm doing. And if I'm parenting at that time, I'm going to stop. Because I don't want to harm my kids anymore. I don't want to have to repair anything. I don't want any words to be said that would have been said because PTSD came in and decided it wanted to go in. It wanted to go in. No, I'm not going to do that to them because then I have to repair all that damage. What is the point? There is no point. So I'm just going to stop parenting. I'm going to regroup, get myself together, and I'll go back and revisit it. And I'll evaluate. If what I've already said to this point has been enough, then I'll let it go. There's no point in revisiting it. There's no point in revisiting it because maybe when I try to revisit it, I will reopen that trigger again. If I already got my point across, even though it was not in a good delivery method, I'm going to just let it go. Hey, Princess, good morning. Not this early in the morning. I'm kind of recording right now. I'm in the middle of something. Can I finish? Thank you.
It's still bedtime.
Go back and lay down.
I was sleeping.
Yeah, tell Sissy.
This one thing
Yeah, go tell Sissy.
are hurting me.
So, these are things that I'm still learning, but these are tips that I'm trying to give out to the world. Because you never know who can use it. You never know who may have not thought about it before, and now all of a sudden it could be like, man, this would make sense because of this, or this makes sense because of that, or never thought about it that way. Maybe now you can start looking at certain things and it can make sense to you. It could be a little more clearer in your head. It could be a clearer message, I guess. clear way of you parenting, especially if you're triggered. Like, parenting while triggered is definitely something that you don't want to do. And I would hope that everybody's trying to catch themselves prior and just let it go for a sec. It's okay to let it go. There's no rule in parenting that says you have to parent right then and there. Let it go for a sec. Breathe. You have to worry about your health, your well-being first. Okay? Because if you're not okay, if your well-being is not good, if you're not in a good space, in a good headspace, or in a good space, period, then how are you going to be good for your kids? How? You're not. You're just going to be a piece of a nothing, a ball of everything. And they're not going to get anything out of you. They're just going to get it. The same thing that you are is what they're going to get out of you. And that's not what you want. You want your kids to be the complete opposite of what you are. You're trying to raise them to have a better life than what you had. I mean, I'm hoping you do. Because that's what I want for my kids. I want them to have a better life than what I had. And so far, it's not working out that way in my eyes. But in theirs, as long as we're together as a family, they're happy. In my eyes, I'm failing. Because we're homeless in a motel, living with rats that are literally running right past us. Like, we're just not standing there. They're eating our food. But so to me, I'm failing drastically. And that's a trigger every single day. I wake up to a trigger every day. I go to sleep to a trigger every day. And I still have to parent. Please. And situations like this is another reason why I kind of don't come on here as much. It's getting worse inside my household. Everybody's getting triggered, not just mom. Now kids are being triggered because of the situation as well. So there's a lot of triggers going on in my household, which makes it a little bit difficult for me to even put out content or do Clubhouse rooms because I don't want to interrupt other people. I'm very respectful of that, but if I'm going to get my message out, I have to get it out any way that I can. And if that means there's going to be a war behind me while I'm having it, then I guess there's going to be a war behind me while I'm having it. And there's nothing I can do about it but just keep on pushing through my situation. And my situation, this is the way that I have to be able to advocate right now until I can get completely on my feet. Literally. And it would be amazing if I could do it physically all the way. I mean, don't mind wheelchair. Don't break down on me, okay? Don't break down, wheelchair. I'm not talking smack about you. I'm just saying, I do appreciate my legs, and I would love to get them back. But I do hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. It's a stormy one down here. I'm hopping off of this Clubhouse now. If anybody listens to the replay, I definitely hope that it brought some type of message for you. I do hope that you guys find some clarity, I guess is the word I'm trying to find, or answers or solutions. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I never know what I'm trying to say. That's funny, but that's not true. But I do hope that it brought an aha moment. That's what I want, an aha moment. I hope you guys have an aha moment. That would definitely be amazing. And if it allows you to parent better down the line, that would even be more amazing. Definitely be more amazing. I'm linking the IG to the top that we have for if you guys want to follow. That'd be awesome. We would appreciate, all the support. That'd be great. Check out, I try to post as much as I can, for inspiration and things like that. But I hope you guys have a blessed day. Please remember to make today count, for tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Neither is today, so let's make it count. Be blessed. All right. So, like I told them, honestly, triggers is one thing that, yeah, we got to get it together, people. We got to get it together. Because we can't parent with triggers. That's just not cool. Parenting with triggers is definitely not what's up. You don't want that to happen. You want to be able to parent with a clear head. No! Did I mess up? I did. Hold on. I messed up. Sorry, podcasters. This is called multitasking right now. And before my Clubhouse time came, I was actually in the middle of sharing the link to the Ask Me, the Ask Whatever questions on the podcast. Oh my God, what I want to do, let's put it under Let's Connect, right? That's tough. How about that? I know. So anyways, but yeah, I just wanted to do a little room on that because I feel like triggers are something really important that people should actually pay attention to. And should actually, how can I put it, be more conscious of, because again, you don't want to do more harm than good. You actually want to make sure that what you're doing is good and not harm. But yeah, pretty much that's all it was. I just wanted to record my, Clubhouse, put it up here. I figured that moving forward I might do that. Start putting up my Clubhouse episodes up on my podcast, because those be some good discussions that I want to have, and I want you guys to be privy to it as well. I believe it would be a good addition to the podcast family. I'm trying to just give y'all some organized content to make my madness content make sense, if that makes a little sense to you guys. Because again, I'm not trying to be not transparent. Everything with my content may be all over the place to you guys, but that's how my life is, and that's how my mind is, and that's how my world is. And that's why I didn't want to portray a cookie cutter mental health person, because that's not my reality. I wanted to portray exactly how I live my life, exactly how my life is on a day-to-day basis, so you guys can take the ride with me, understand the mental health world through my eyes more. This way would make you more empathetic to other people, especially those that you do help or support or may know, or maybe even more empathetic if you run into a mental health patient in your job, on the street, or anywhere. It'll make you more empathetic to see the signs. Then you'll maybe see, hey, they're not lashing out, or hey, they're not mean, or hey, something's wrong. Something's not right here. Let me get them some help or something, and you won't just think that they're just crazy. No, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to my madness. It'll come all together. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and like I told them, make today count. For tomorrow ain't promised to nobody. So let's make today count. Make today your best day, so that tomorrow could be even more fantastic. Love y'all, my normies and non-normies.